You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Thursday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby. Can I ask you a question? Because you're a big conspiracy theory guy. Maybe you've already heard about something. Why don't people use the sidewalk anymore?
What?
Have you not noticed this? I don't know what's going on. And I know like the weather has been up and down and fucked and whatever. It feels like even when the sidewalks are clear, more and more people are walking in the streets.
Okay, you know what? I have been noticing this. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if the sidewalks are icy, but...
Well, and that's just it. Hey, listen, with all the snow and shit that we got around here, I get sometimes the sidewalk is impassable, but the plows have been out, so you walk in the street because that's what works. Also, a lot of dog walking in my neighborhood. Sometimes you cut out to the street because you don't want your dog to interact with somebody else, right? But there's somebody outside right fucking now that's walking on the street. The sidewalk is clear.
I mean, everybody's pretty broke right now. Maybe everyone's just trying to catch a check.
People are looking to get hit by a car, try and get that settlement money. This modern movement brought to you by Salino and Barnes. That's what we're saying it is. If you're one of the people that's on the road, just know you've confounded my brain. I don't know why you're doing this, and it makes me nervous.
No, pedestrians have the right of way. Get your money, dude.
No, yeah, pedestrians have the right of way the same way customers are always right. Eventually, you're just being an idiot.
Get your money up.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Don't you forget to go vote. Vote, 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 vote. Don't you forget to cast your vote.
Yes, today is the day. Provincial election going down here in the province of Ontario. And man, I don't know if you saw for the early ballots, only 6% of people turned out for their early ballots.
I will say this, is I got a text from one of my neighbors letting me know that like early voting for our neighborhood was open and like, oh, we just went and did it. So shout out to Fran and Ralph for like trying to get the word out. But at the same time, I was like, I'll go later.
I'm interested to see what the overall stats are by the end of the night, because I Googled it, and in 2022, it was like a 44% turnout.
Oof. Ontario has the same problem as Saskatchewan, as Alberta, as some other provinces, in that doesn't the election... And I don't want to dissuade anyone from voting, but doesn't the election kind of feel like you know how it's going to go?
Yeah.
Especially like for younger people. Like we are telling people, and I'm talking about my generation, 40 and up, we are telling young people about how important it is to get out and vote, to go out and support democracy and do your part. But we're also basically telling them like, and by the way, like we already know who's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of, you know, everyone always says like, hey, if you don't vote, you can't complain, which I do think is true. But it's almost like we know what we're going to wake up to tomorrow already.
I don't know, like, websites that they have, like, smart voting and stuff like that for the anti-conservative crowd that worries that the Liberals and the NDP split the votes, and that's why conservatives win always. And they're like, well, if you're in this riding, vote NDP because they're leading there. And if you're over here, vote Liberal. I was looking at it this morning just out of curiosity, and the absolute most ideal situation where everybody does the anyone but conservative ideal still ends with the Conservatives having a majority. Well, not a majority, but they win. They have the most votes or the most seats.
Yeah, and I feel like this conversation maybe isn't persuading anyone to get out and vote today. But I do think you should, just on the sole basis of it's like an extra lunch break.
Well, there is that. I mean, first of all, if you want to affect the change and get past the part of like, we know how this is going to end, more people do need to go vote because that would shake up all of the paradigms. But also, even if you don't care about the process,
legally, you're allowed to leave work today to go vote.
Not only are you allowed to leave work, your boss is legally mandated to create space for you to be able to go and vote. Mm-hmm. They cannot restrict your ability to go to the polls today.
It's like having a smoke break and not being a smoker, you know?
Essentially, yeah. All the non-smokers who talk about, like, where's my 15 minutes? Here it is.
Treat voting today like a bathroom break. Which is a great comparison because they're all full of it anyway.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We got a bad line message from friend of the show, Joe, and he had a great idea.
If the government really wants to get people to vote, what they should do is, like, give us something in return for a vote. Like a free Timmy's gift card or like a gas card or something like that. I honestly think people just need more incentive to vote because no one fucking did the vote for.
If you told people they would get a free gas card, tons of people would come out.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, look what happens if a gas station in town drops like 5 cents cheaper.
People flock there.
Everybody goes there, even just sitting there idling, wasting gas. They still do it. And I know that there are people who are going to be like, well, we shouldn't have to, crossing your arms. We shouldn't have to bribe people to vote. Hey, yeah, ideal utopian society, everyone gets out and does their part. But we live in a province where, what did you say, 44% of people turned out last time? So maybe let's give them some friggin' gift cards.
Even if you were like, you get a free slice of pizza, people would probably show up more.
Yeah, honestly, that's the thing, is like, people will go out of their way. We've learned this being in radio. If we go somewhere and offer free hot dogs for people to come down, it is widely, massively more attended.
What they should do is some sort of, I don't know, like a draw or like a lottery type system.
Okay.
Where every vote, or not every vote, every vote is a ballot in the draw. So your one vote, every person gets one ballot into, say, a lottery, and maybe there's a cash prize or something like that at the end of it.
Okay. Yeah,
that would make voter turnout huge.
I mean, and listen, because you could incorporate this into, like, we don't have to make this like a taxpayers thing or anything like that. We can literally put this tax on the political parties, the conservatives, the liberals, the NDPs, the Greens, the Bloc, all of them. Whenever there's an election, every party that wants to take part, that wants to run candidates, has to take some of the, because they spend so much friggin' money on ads.
Say
and
they
stuff
put like
that.
$10,000 each from every party that's running.
$10,000, $20,000, $25,000 from each party goes into a kitty, and for every Canadian or Ontarian or whatever that votes, they draw one name, winner, Gagnon, you get the money.
Yes.
We would see such a massive uptick.
You do something like that, or it's like the winner gets no taxes for this year. Like,
dude, if you promised 1 year tax vacation for a citizen for voting, you would have to take voting to a 2-day period. The lineups would be ridiculous.
Imagine the line at Circle K of everyone trying to scan their tickets the next day.
Scanning their voting 649.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I was laughing. I saw this article. Keanu Reeves did an interview, and they asked Keanu Reeves if he has anything left to accomplish in his life.
Fair question. The man has done a lot.
And he just said, I want to go to Mars, which I thought is like such a rich dude thing to say.
It's a rich dude thing, but isn't it also the most Keanu kind of answer? Like, I feel like if you took away all his money, he's just sitting at home, just got off a 9 to 5. You're like, what do you want to do, man? He'd be like, I want to go to Mars.
I don't get the desire to go to space.
See, that's because you're a jockey skate kid. You didn't grow up watching enough sci-fi. That's why.
It's not even that. It's like, what are you going to do in space? Like, I mean, unless this guy's a Martian and he's looking to return home. Like,
which is a possibility.
Should we be sending actors to space? What's he going to accomplish up there?
Well, I don't think he wants to be one of the first people up there, but I feel like there's all this talk. The billionaires, Bezos and Musk, and all these people with their rockets and their missions are talking about they're going to go to Mars and they're going to build colonies, and then we can leave this failing Earth and we can go live on Mars. And I think Keanu is one of the many people who's like, okay, yeah, I'll go build me a house and a civilization, and I'll go relax on Mars.
I'll say this. A, I'll never be able to because I can't afford it. And B, most of us aren't smart enough to be in space right now, or shouldn't be in space.
Oh, right now? No, absolutely not. No, there's definitely still a level of like, you need the education, you need the training, you need the skills.
I like to travel as much as the next guy, but like, dude, just go to Mexico or something. Like,
well, this is why space tourism is still only gotten as far as like, we'll take you just out of the atmosphere, maybe a quick rip around, and then we come back down right away.
What are you going to do in space that you're not going to do here? Are you just going to eat toothpaste all day? Like,
well, I mean, I'm hoping by the time they have space hotels, the food has gotten a little bit better.
I assume that everybody who wants to go to space has done something bad on Earth that they're trying to escape
they're
from.
Trying to flee from their consequences.
You're either an alien or you're trying to get away from something that you did here.
The Department of Justice in the States said they're going to release the Epstein logs today, and all of a sudden everybody's like, I would love to go to space right now.
Oh, the Mars logs are going to be a whole different thing, dude.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast. Podcast.
If you were to go to space, what would you want to try?
You got to be the first person to do a gravity hitter up there,
We're assuming that means that no NASA astronaut has tried it so far.
Do you think anyone's ever smoked weed in space before?
I think they did it beforehand. I don't know how you'd really pull it off up there, though.
Yeah, I mean...
The hot box effect.
Man, it really does beg the question, do astronauts party?
Well, they got to party. They have to.
I would think at least a little bit.
At least backflips.
Imagine being stoned on the International Space Station. That would actually be sick.
Just spinning.
Till the anxiety kicks in and you look at Earth and you're like, oh, God.
That's what ruins the party. You have all the fun in the world with the zero gravity, then you float by a window and you just,
You got the one guy, oh, I'm that high. Oh, no.
Some dude ate all the toothpaste too fast.
The toothpaste.
Hey, thanks for chatting with us, Justice.
Always, boys. Have a good one.
I'm curious. I want to give it a Google now. 1 second here. Do astronauts drink alcohol in space?
I have to assume someone's brought some beer.
No, this is just what Google says. It says no, astronauts are generally not allowed to drink alcohol in space, obviously because it can impair judgment and reaction time.
That is a key word there. Generally.
They have to sneak a bottle. I mean, if it's New Year's Eve or whatever, they got to pop a little bubbly or something,
little champagne.
right?
And listen, I'm not saying, because if you're in the International Space Station or you're on a rocket to Mars or whatever, there's a lot of things that you need to be aware of at all times to stay alive. So I'm not saying anybody should get hammered. But you're telling me not one astronaut in the history of space travel is kicked back?
Oh, the Russians are most definitely bringing vodka, thinking about it now.
100%, just to get to sleep at night. You know what I'm talking? Just a little something to take the edge off.
Imagine barfing in the space station.
Oh, my God. Imagine being with someone who barfs. That's way worse.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the other side of the ship. You're just pushing buttons or whatever, and all of a sudden... starts creeping towards
trying to hold
you.
your girlfriend's hair as you guys are both flipping upside down in space.
Oh, see, I think long hair in space is fine because it's all flowing behind you as you're puking. You don't need to hold it back if you're on the ISS.
Someone else just texted in, do you think they've ever had sex in space?
So I remember there was a discussion about this as to whether or not they had, and NASA was real tight-lipped about it. Which makes me assume that yes.
You've got a lot of people just spending a lot of time up there.
If for no other reason, and I know this is going to sound silly, but if for no other reason than for scientific research purposes, to see how it all works. You know what I'm talking about? You could legitimately angle this as we're doing this for the good of humanity.
Do you have to get strapped down to do it?
I mean, listen, some people do that here on Earth, all right?
It depends what you're into.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I was watching a video yesterday. It was really interesting from CNBC on YouTube. And it was about a mall in Providence, Rhode Island. It was one of those essentially dead malls, handful of stores, barely open, no one goes. But it took up such a massive amount of land in the city that they tried to figure out something to do with it. So they took the second floor where there were shops, but no one was in them, and they turned them all into apartments.
Oh.
So that you could live inside the mall. You come home at the end of the day.
You live in Le Chateau.
To the mall. And you would live above some stores. And they had the food court was still there. So
that's actually kind of nice. Yeah.
Honestly, the first time I saw something like this was when I lived out in Alberta. The University of Alberta has what they call Hub Mall, which is a dorm for the university. And it's the same sort of thing. It's a student apartments above, but there it's a Subway and some newsstands and stuff like that. Yeah. But imagine living over a Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that, going down the escalator on your way to work in the morning and stopping by a Jogenfru's.
You need some change for your coffee, so you just go to the fountain real quick and scoop it up.
Scooping it up.
Yeah.
That would make perfect sense. I love this idea. Obviously, it doesn't work once you're of a certain age or if you've got kids and stuff like that.
But malls are dying in general. They take up so much space.
We need to do something with some of these malls. When you find a mall that's working, it's great. A mall is fun, but there's so many depressing buildings across North America.
I mean, I like the apartment idea, but I mean, in general, you think about the unhoused community. You could do something with that there, right?
That's just it. I've seen suggestions both for, people who are unhoused or even just we're constantly in need of places to to house our elderly people, retirement homes, nursing homes.
Dude, how many times do we talk about not having enough doctors or not having enough hospitals?
Right.
Just turn every dead mall into like a medical center.
That would be fantastic. And again, because every single mall has these like preordained spaces, you wouldn't even have to fill it up all at once, but just start bringing in medical practices and have it be the medical mall.
And then the food court's always there, so then you wouldn't have crappy food at the hospital for once.
Unless every food court and every medical mall is just Jell-O. It's just Jell-O.
Dude, if hospitals had a New York Fries,
you'd go see the doctor more often?
dude, it would make it so much better to go visit grandma.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
So I was reading an article that was talking about bands that sort of got famous in Canada but never had international success. They were massive here, but it never turned into anything else.
So many Canadian bands.
Reminded me of the band Prozac. Do you remember them?
Strange Disease.
Oh, that Sucks to Be You was a jam back in the day. But anyway, it referenced how many albums they had sold, and it ended up putting me onto sort of this list from the Nielsen people who do like ratings and radio tracking and stuff like that. It's a little inside baseball, but they had put out a list to celebrate Canada's 150th birthday back in 2017 of the most played rock songs on Canadian radio of all time.
Okay.
Canadian songs, mind you. So there's no Metallicas, there's no AC/DCs.
Just Canadian content.
And I thought I would challenge you because you've been working in radio for a long time, and these are all bands that we have played probably this week. These are all songs that we've played probably this week. I want to see if you, in 1 minute, can decipher all 10 of the most played rock songs in Canadian radio from 1995 to 2016.
I feel like this should be easy.
This is a 20-year period. All songs that we play,
Okay.
Can you spot all 10 of them? And I'll tell you what, you just give me the bands, and I'll tell you if they're on the list.
Okay.
So you got to name essentially 8 Canadian bands in 1 minute.
I've been working in radio for 10 years. I feel like I should be able to get this.
All right, you ready to go?
Yeah. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, start.
Tragically Hip is obviously on there.
They are not.
What?
Not even on the top 10.
Nickelback?
No Nickelback in the top 10.
Bryan Adams?
No Bryan
What?
Adams in
Trooper?
the top 10. No
Rush?
Trooper. No Rush.
Loverboy?
No Loverboy.
Our Lady Peace?
No Our Lady Peace.
Finger 11?
Finger 11 is at number 2 with Paralyzer. Congratulations, you got 1.
Matthew Good.
Matthew Good is on there twice. Number 4, Hello Time Bomb.
Sum 41?
Sum 41 is not on there. By the way, Matt Good also at number 9 for Load Me
So there's
Up.
2? Okay,
Yeah.
Big Sugar?
Big Sugar is on at number 5 with Digging a Hole.
Big Wreck then.
Big Wreck, number 1, that song, and number 6 with The Oath.
Sum 41, are they on there?
You said Sum 41, they are not on there.
Tea Party?
Tea Party, no.
April Wine?
April Wine, no.
Helix?
No Helix, no.
What the hell is going on?
You're so close.
I don't know.
It's the same era for some of those other bands you've already listed. That same like 90s, 2000s.
Oh, man, why am I blanking so hard right now?
That is it. So you got a decent amount of them.
What did I miss?
You missed Sam Roberts, Brother Down at number 3, and you missed Sloan, Money City Maniacs at number 8, and Default, Wasting My Time at number 10.
Oh, damn, dude.
So if you could just head down to the office there and leave your CanCon card on the desk.
Oh, man, that deserves a shame bell.
But also, it is crazy. The bands that you listed, like the Tragically Hip, not having, maybe it's because the Hip and Nickelback, they have so many songs that get played that no one song has that like massive number.
I'm just mad I didn't get Money City Maniacs. I feel like I hear that at least like 10 times a week. Dude.
It was either going to be that or the bell from Ooh, What a Night.
Yeah.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Is that a recorder?
I think we all know this song. Cobb's Bread. You know that company?
Oh, yeah. I've seen them in different towns and
Cobb's
stuff.
Bread is offering people free hot cross buns on March 1st for anyone who comes into their store and plays hot cross buns on the recorder.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that online yesterday, and I feel so bad for the employees that have to work that day.
Dude, someone bought my kids both recorders as a joke, and that was the worst month of my life.
Oh, well, how old are they now?
Mine are 11 or 10 and 8.
Oh, they're going to have them at school soon. Yeah.
Oh, I'm very aware.
I feel so bad for those employees. They're going to have PTSD by the end of that shift, man.
Well, and the thing is like, especially because it's not school-age children who maybe have some recorder experience who are going into a Cobb's Bread to buy hot cross buns. This is going to be grown-ups hitting up a dollar store, buying a cheap recorder, and trying to hammer this out for free bread.
Or it's going to be parents dragging their kids in there, making them play terribly. Does anybody still play the recorder over the age of, 12?
I'm fairly certain that once your, school music class stops asking you to play the recorder, you stop playing the recorder.
And, I get why they teach it to kids in school. It's an introductory kind of thing to music or learning music kind of thing.
It's a very basic instrument, sure.
But come on. There's no such thing as a professional recorder player out there, right?
I didn't even think until you brought it up of the idea of, two proud parents with little Timmy standing at a Cobb's Bread. Everybody behind the counter is miserable. Timmy's miserable. And the parents are just like, oh, we'll take our buns now, please.
Do you think there's a Kenny G of the recorder?
Oh, almost certainly. I mean, that's the thing is there are people who are professional with devil sticks. At that point, everything's on the table. There's somebody out there certainly who has made money.
Is there a band out there that has a recorder player?
I don't know if you'd have it in a band, but I wouldn't doubt if most recording studios, you know how they'll have session guitar players, session drummers to come in when they need something.
I got this guy, he can play hot crust buns nasty. We'll get him in here.
I bet that there's such thing as a session recorder player for a very specific type of music where they're yeah, we go into the bullpen for a lefty, bring him out here.
He's got his Gibson recorder coming in.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Apparently, we were doing the recorder dirty because in music, the recorder has been used a lot. The biggest one that people texted in is I never realized the intro to Stairway to Heaven. Apparently, just in the undertones of the intro,
very faint.
That is the recorder.
That's what we should be playing at Cobb's Bread, trying to get our free buns.
What, you want to wait 8 minutes behind some kid playing the recorder?
Brother, if a kid walks in and starts playing Stairway to Heaven on the recorder, he has all of my time.
I think it's the rule in Wayne's World, no stairway.
I also found Ruby Tuesday by the Rolling Stones.
Oh, true.
Features some recorder. Listen to this.
While the sun is bright.
It's the counter melody in the background.
In the
oh, damn, I never processed that before.
No one knows.
In the background. Also, because I know you're not a huge Star Wars guy, but did you ever watch The Mandalorian?
Yeah, with Courtney, yeah. Oh, damn, dude.
That's a full-on recorder. That's not the background. That's the main event.
Disney has so much money to make a song, and they cheaped out and got people to play the recorder? What the hell, dude?
I mean, it's a popular instrument. I was looking too. Jefferson Airplane has a song called Coming Back to Me. And I don't have time for the clip here, but their band photo to promote the song, look at this, holding a recorder.
Oh, that gal on the album cover, yeah.
Her name is Grace Slick, recorder player.
Is she the goat of recorder players? Damn, it turns out it isn't the most useless thing they can teach you in school.
Well,
also, if you think about it, I mean, what's one thing Zeppelin, the Stones, and Jefferson Airplane all have in common? They all got pretty high at one point.
That's very true.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What the hell did you just say?
What the is that song?
What did he?
All right, we've got $100 in Lotto 649 tickets this morning to give away for What the Meow.
Yeah, you got a $22 million gold ball jackpot up for grabs on Saturday. Guaranteed $1 million prize and 25 guaranteed prizes of $10,000 with the super draw.
Remember, we are going to meow a song to you that you should know. You need to give us the song and the band to get the ding, the round of applause, and $100 in Lotto 649 tickets. We will start with our first 3 callers. If they all fail, we'll reopen up the phone lines again.
Yeah, every time someone fails, another line opens up. So if you are trying to get through, just keep calling and you'll have your shot to hear some gorgeous meows.
All right, let's start with caller number 1 here. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Morning, it's Bruce, and I am so ready right now.
All right, that's what I like to hear, buddy. Who do you want to meow for you, Brock or Dalby?
I've got my consultant here, and she says I should go with Dalby. Nothing personal.
That's all good.
Yeah. Meow, 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 meow.
That's it?
What do you mean that's it? You're caller 1. That's more than you usually get.
Put your heart in it, brother. Let's hear it again. Oh.
Nothing?
Hit him with it. Hit him with it.
Take
You're
care,
out.
Bruce.
You're out of here. Tell me, put my heart into it. I put my whole heart into it.
You put your soul into it, too. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
It's Jen.
Jen, Brock
Hi,
or Dalby
Jen.
for the meow?
Can I get Dalby?
Wow.
Sure. You know what? I'll do the part that I know you were going to do.
Yeah.
Meow, meow, meow.
I know the song. It's
Is it?
Is it Kryptonite by Three Doors Down?
Wow!
Yeah, it is.
Wow!
I thought you were
Okay,
fibbing.
I got the artist. I had to think about it because last time I called and I got the artist wrong.
That's right. Jen called in while you were gone earlier this week and got one but not the other, and we had to hang up on it.
Well, congratulations, Jen. A little redemption song for you there. Meow, meow, meow. $100 in Lotto 649 tickets is yours for Saturday's jackpot. If you do happen to win, you got some nickels and dimes for the boys over here or what?
Of course, yes.
Good answer, Jen. Good answer.
Love to hear it.
One other question, Jen. Would you say that I put my heart into those meows?
You do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know what? Shame bell for Bruce.
Sorry.
The Brock and Dalby podcast.
The Brock and Dalby podcast.
Just a text. I'm thinking, why? Yeah. Don't you send us a text? Yeah. Ask us a question. Yeah. Just send us a text. The number is 762-555.
Jesus.
That is Superman's text.
That's what that was. Okay, yeah, no, I was trying to figure out, it was tip of my tongue, you know?
Right off the hop, we got a bunch of people asking, who are you voting for today? Doesn't matter who we're voting for, just go out there and vote, all right?
Don't ask anybody that today. What a weird question to ask people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just go vote. Based on your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own opinions, just go do that. And then you can talk about it tomorrow after the election is over, I guess.
I don't even think it's something you need to talk about. I don't think you need to tell people who you voted for. Like, I don't think you need to judge someone just based on their political views.
That's just it.
Right?
You know, like, what if you found out who Brock's voting for and who I'm voting for? Would that change how you listen to this show? Would you go from today to tomorrow feeling differently about us if you knew who we voted for, regardless of what party it was?
Like, it doesn't matter what my favorite band is. You have your favorite band, right?
Your favorite band does concern me a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with Blink-182 being my favorite band. Stop it.
It's not. It's that you call them a punk band. That's the problem.
We move on. Someone said, do bosses know that people don't like them? I mean, if you've got a dick boss, I feel like they gotta know a little bit, right?
I feel like it depends. I think if the mood in the office or on the job site or whatever it is very low, then the boss is probably not stupid. They probably are aware. But I also think there are a number of people in management positions all across North America who probably blissfully walk into work every day feeling like Michael Scott from The Office, where everybody loves and respects them, and then they're the butt of every joke.
Dude, thinking about it now, how many bosses out there think they're hilarious because people give them cheap pity laughs?
Oh, for sure there's tons out there. There's bosses that think that they're funny. There are bosses that think that they're smart or attractive. all because people are just trying to make it from day to day without getting fired.
Someone said, do you guys have any interviews lined up with the WWE for this weekend? If you haven't heard, me and Dolby got press passes for SmackDown and Elimination Chamber this weekend.
Yeah. We'll be in Toronto tomorrow night,
We don't have anything set up, and we don't even know what the vibe is going to be like there. We just have access to the building early.
They told us when to be there, where to show up, and then we'll go from there. But I'm honestly a little bit more nervous about interviewing any of these stars after you yesterday said that you were going to try and smack John Cena's bald spot.
I'm either going to touch John Cena's bald spot, or if we do get the chance to talk to John Cena, I'm going to be like, when's John Cena getting here?
Oh my God. Please don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me in front of the wrestlers.
I'm going to little brother you hard.
No.
Someone said, what death of a famous person affected you hard?
It's funny, we were talking about wrestling. Probably when Bobby the Brain Heenan passed away from cancer-related issues. This was a handful of years ago. But, like, the way that some people talk about, like, movie stars and musicians as people they grew up idolizing, that was my guy when I was a kid, right up to the point where I actually started pro wrestling myself when I was coming out of college. That was my idol. That was the person that I looked up to. I watched countless hours of tape and stuff like that. And when he passed away, that one really did hit me of like, oh.
I think I've been in shock before, like Chester Bennington, but I don't think there's been one that's really taken a toll on me yet.
Like put you into a bit of a funk?
Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know if that's a weird thing to say, but nothing has really, pulled at my heartstrings too hard.
True. But I mean, the thing is like, you're also just freshly 30. Like, there's a chance that you just haven't lost any of those like childhood idols.
Like,
yet.
I think maybe if Travis Barker had died in that plane crash, that would have messed me up. But,
right. Like one day, and I'm just talking about the passage of time. One day, someone from Blink-182 will pass away. Mm-hmm. You're probably going to call in sick that day.
It did mess me up when I heard like Mark Hoppus was going through cancer treatments and stuff. So yeah, that might have done it.
So there you go. You're just too young to be sad, and one day it'll all come crashing down on you, and that's something to look forward to.
And like Blink-182 once said, I guess this is growing up.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day. Let's see what he's got.
Good morning to you. Today's word is arresting. Yep, arresting. 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 And it's catching the attention, striking, or impressive.
Oh.
That's quite a bit different than arrested. And mind you, that gets your attention, too. Anyways, that just about does it. Have a great one. Cheers are up.
There it is.
And don't forget to go vote.
There you go. I thought he was literally referring to, like, the arresting officer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, Ed have a tough Wednesday? Or?
So basically, like, striking, eye-catching kind of stuff.
Yeah. Something that will cause you to essentially deer in the headlights, freeze in your tracks. Like, when we keep talking about how we've been given the opportunity to go represent the entire company at Saturday's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view live in Toronto, it is arresting to me in my heart when you keep talking about touching John Cena's bald spot. That's upsetting to me.
It'll be arresting to everyone who's in the room as well.
If you do it, everyone in the room will be arrested.
I think you could use it if, you and the missus are going out for a date night and she gets all dolled up.
Yeah.
She's looking fine.
Yeah.
You go, whoop, whoop. You're arresting me tonight, baby.
You're looking arresting.
Mm-hmm.
Only problem is if you got a big age gap, then it's dicey.
Arresting. Use it wherever you can.
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.